Most success stories in the corporate world fall under three categories. In the first category are businesses generally started by one man with a vision and conviction. Of course, it has the usual drama of pawning wife's jewelry, etc., etc. To my mind, most businesses in India fall under this category of what is commonly known as the first generation entrepreneurs. In the second category are businesses generally set up by an employee who, after working few years for others, feels the urge to set up his own outfit. Here, some of the names that instantly comes to my mind are those of Narayana Murthy, Dr. Anji Reddy, Shiv Nadar, Naresh Goyal and Karsanbhai Patel. In the third category are companies incubated by businessmen with common interests but become a success story after an outsider takes over the control. The best example I could think here is that of Cognizant Technologies, which was jointly set up by Dun & Bradstreet and Satyam in 1994. The story of this week straddles the second and third categories. After 20 years of working, the US-based Arvind Rao decided to quit his high-paying job and take over a company incubated by Infosys. OnMobile provides value-added services like ringtone, caller tunes and voice-based products. Take a look at OnMobile's story and you could get hints as to how to be your own boss.
In a country where cricket is a religion and movie songs almost a daily prayer, it was not difficult for two tech-savvy professionals to build a smart business around it. And in doing so, they have indeed put a lot of zing into our lives. Today, both the caller tune and ringtone is no more the conventional boring tring-tring. Instead, every time you call somebody or receive a call, the ringtone and caller tune, depending on your choice, could play the latest Kolaveri D number or song from Devanand movies, or perhaps even Bonnie M. Again, during the busy cricket season, when you are stranded in a traffic jam or in the middle of an important business meeting, all you have to do is say cricket into your mobile phone and instantly you will know the latest cricket score. Meet Arvind Rao and Molly Raman, who have made life easy and exciting for mobile users across the world. Both Rao and Raman are founder and co-founder of the Bangalore-based OnMobile Global, which offers mobile value-added services like speech products, network products, messaging and m-commerce, applications and data products. Interestingly, while all players have similar offerings, but 75% of their revenue of the 12,200 crore rupee market is largely driven by the popular and easy-to-use products like jokes, ringtones, caller tunes, mobile radio, movie reviews, news, astrology, stock updates, and game-based applications. But what makes OnMobile stand tall is its 62% market share of ringback tones compared to 16% by Comviva, 11% by Huawei, and 11% by IMI Mobile. And this beachhead position is reflected in its financials. For the year ended March 2011, its consolidated revenue grew 18% to 537 crore rupees, while net profits jumped 48% to 89 crore rupees. However, the management decided to skip the dividend this year in view of major expansion plans. It has, however, pleased the shareholders with a 1:1 bonus issue. With major expansion plans underway, the company is indeed raring to go. But a decade back, this company, incubated by Infosys, was almost on the brink of closure. So what went wrong?
I have been with Infosys for quite some time, since 1988, when it was about a 60 people company, and grew with the organization, working on large projects for various customers around the world. And we did the first version of the product from within Infosys. At the end of the first version of the product, all of us realized that it was important for us to spin out the company from within Infosys, because this being a products company, the mindset that is required to make this happen is very different from a services company. The second one was the business models that that we needed to have for this product was very different than what Infosys had, and so on basically. And hence we realized that it was important for us to spin out the company. And that is when we decided to spin out is when we agreed that it was important for us to get somebody with great customer focus and business focus, because we are primarily from the product and technology side, and we wanted somebody from the consumer, so from the customer as well as the business focus. And in parallel, what is happening is Arvind, after finishing his MBA in Wharton and so on, basically he was in McKinsey for quite some time, and he was with large funds like George Soros and TCD and so on basically. So he has been writing checks for other companies. So at that point he was itching to do something on his own. Arvind and I came together, and once we came together is when we spun out the company from within Infosys, and that is when we raised external funds from venture capitalists, and we raised about $15 million in the year 2000.
Immediately, the company's name was changed from OnScan to OnMobile and was relocated in California, USA. But unfortunately, the timing was wrong. The year 2000 saw NASDAQ crashing, .coms going bust, and telecom operators in the US cash strapped as they had $10 billion in 3G licenses. The result? There were no takers for OnMobile's products. By 2002, it became a stretcher case as venture capital fundings had stopped. With their back to the wall, the choice before Arvind and Mauli was to shut down operations. But Arvind Rao was no quitter. His gut instinct told him that the future for telecom play was India. Wasting no time, Arvind Rao and Mauli Raman moved lock, stock and barrel to India. That was 2002. In India, the telecom sector was in its infancy. So Arvind rejigged his business strategy to lure telecom operators. To start, he adopted the risk and revenue share business model. This meant OnMobile will invest in hardware, software, product development and people, and telecom players had to share a percentage of their revenue, anywhere between 12 and 20%. Secondly, it was decided that OnMobile will always be a white label company, which meant it would be like OEM manufacturer and will not sell products directly in the market. And finally, OnMobile will be an IPR managed service. In other words, it will not sell on a license model. This strategy appealed to telecom players. Thus, in 2003, Orange, now Vodafone, became its first customer for the voice portal Cricket Score. This contract was the lifesaver for the company. It was the first turning point. The real game changer for the company was in 2004 when it developed ringback tones for Vodafone.
We got a major break in 2004 when we launched a product called ringback tone, which is branded as, let's say, caller tunes by Vodafone today, or Hutch that time, or dialer tones by Idea and so on basically. So that way it was, while we were not the first ones to develop the product in the world, we definitely had done a lot of things in the product which was very compelling for the consumers. So within a short period of time, it became a runaway success. We could go to any operator in India, offer them compelling value proposition, and we really got all the major operators in India as our customers basically over the next 3 to 4 years. So that was so moving to India with this business model and these two product lines was a sort of was a good turning points for us basically at that time.
Since then, there has been no looking behind. The company has crossed the 100 crore rupee mark in 2006-2007. And Arvind was back to his old theme, de-risk the business.
In 2005, that's when we decided to revisit our international plans. And we launched our services in markets like Indonesia, Bangladesh, which took off really well. And today, as per the last quarter, 42% of our revenues come from international markets. We are all set to cross 50% of revenues, of our total revenues from international markets by the end of this fiscal year. If you look at 2-3 years down the line, of course, the revenues coming from international market would be much larger than 50%.
OnMobile has indeed come a long way, riding piggyback on the telecom boom. From 15 million mobile phones in 2002, this number has 800 million plus mobiles in 2011. And this number is growing, but there are challenges too.
The biggest challenge for OnMobile is not with our customers. The biggest challenge is where the market is headed right now. We believe the ARPU across operators will be in the range of 100 to 150 depending on prepaid, postpaid. And what the subscriber actually is facing right now is, and this has resulted actually in a reduced wallet size of the consumer. Now in that, we need to actually present the right solution and service at the right price to the subscriber. And we have learned from various other industries also. If I take an example, say, of an FMCG industry, they are, the whole shampoo industry went through a complete change when the sachet model was introduced. People who were not buying shampoo bottles were 200 bucks, they started buying shampoo. You know, even a normal guy could afford a 2 rupee sachet. So we have also evolved over a period of time, and we see that, okay, to give you an example, we have introduced various price points. Now a subscriber can actually choose a service for a day or a week, depending on the wallet size.
By innovating fast and keeping the cost low, OnMobile has endeared itself to all big names in the telecom sector in 52 countries across the world. The company reaches out to 1.2 billion users and has over 120 million unique users every month. Time for a short break. When we come back, we talk to OnMobile's energetic founder, Arvind Rao. Also joining us on the show is Sandeep Uppal of HSBC, who will bring the sobering banker's perspective while analyzing the company.
The iPhone 4S has an all-new camera with 8 megapixels and advanced optics. So it lets you capture stunning photos. And because it's an iPhone, you can do things you never imagined possible with a